Hey, it's another edition of Trash Talk. That's because
Yeah.
it's Tuesday morning, it's 8 o'clock, and frankly, we have no place else to be at that time on that day every week. So we're here with you.
We are.
But we're talking today about buying and selling and all. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody that's watching or listening to this show that has never gone online to see something of interest. I mean, you can't even open up your email anymore without having something and it's a deal. It's always a deal. You know, I see these things where they'll have bicycles or something for sale for $5. You know what kind of bicycle you're going to get for $5?
Yeah.
And yet people then you'll see there's a little comment down that says, is this item still available? It's crazy, but people have made big business out of buying and selling online.
Huge. They've created their own stores, online stores, so to speak, where they have multiple.
Etsy is one of them.
Yeah, I really like Etsy. I'm not sure about how they are as a company. I mean, I've heard mixed reviews, but I really like them on the creative side because typically when I buy like Christmas cards, I buy them from Etsy because they're different, they're unique, and I can get it towards the individual that I'm giving the card to. I've never sold anything on Etsy, but I bought quite a lot of stuff on Etsy.
I think Etsy probably is more of a true marketplace where independent people are buying and selling their art, their jewelry, their goods. Yeah. It's not like, a leftover stuff I've got to sell. The one that's probably stands out in my head for that is Craigslist. When somebody wants to sell an old boat or an old car or furniture or something, they're selling a bed that they've only had for 20 years. And all, but and I'm a fan of Judge Judy, and I'll tell you, at least once a week there's an episode about somebody that bought something from somebody else and they didn't get what they thought they were going to get and they want to return it, and the guy says no, it was sold as is, and Judge Judy says, where did you list this item? And they say Craigslist.
Yeah, I don't use Craigslist. I think Craigslist is antiquated, to be honest with you now. I don't think it number one, I don't think it was what it was. When it first hit the scene, it was the place. It was, even for job postings and all that. Now, right. Most of the people we get from Craigslist, I wish they never came in to work for me. But I think because of Facebook and then apps like not Market Street, 5 Miles, Offer
right.
Up.
Rakuten is one of the new ones.
See, I've never even heard of that till you said it, which is crazy.
Yeah, Rakuten is supposedly a new a site that you can go and buy, and so like people sell baby buggies, cribs and things like that. When they're finished with them, they can sell it to somebody else that's look at them. But there's a lot of them out there, and there are some people that could spend the whole day trolling for these deals. And there's always those what used to be garage sale people on the weekends that would drive up and down the streets looking for garage sales. And you lost your hat.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. It's a different Brandon. There you go. Somebody just bought your picture.
Technical difficulties.
But I remember the days when you'd go to garage sales and you'd haggle, and you want to buy that rocking chair or something, and the guy's asking 40. You say, I'll give you 20, and then you go out, put it in your car. But now it's gotten to the social part of it. You see the picture, you respond and you say, is it still available? You want 40, will you take 20? Who pays for the shipping? Where are you located? And you either pick it up or they ship it to you. And now you're paying $10 for the rocking chair and $35 for the shipping.
Well, that's so the most that I've done recently is Facebook Marketplace. I've had the most success. I don't sell a lot of stuff, but certain things, I mostly donate my son's clothes, but certain things like shoes and his jackets, or if it's like I sold an FC Dallas jersey, like I'm not going to donate an FC Dallas jersey if I get a couple dollars for it.
Yeah.
And I've had good luck. And the great thing about it is you can set the prepaid shipping to open up your audience, and it's really not cheap. You print up the label, or it's really not expensive. You print up the label, slap it on a box, drop it off at the post office, it's done. So you might have an item for $15 and you might only get 13 or 12. But $12 as opposed to nothing, why not?
Yeah. You want to explain the one that's over your shoulder?
Oh, this creepy thing that should be burned as long with the owner. Yeah, so this was a real marketplace, Facebook Marketplace ad. And it is for a Campbell soup doll. So if you guys are listening right now instead of watching, you're missing out. It's the Campbell soup doll. It's a Campbell soup can with like this paper mache legs and arms and creepy doll head with no eyes that'll probably wake up at night and try to kill you.
Yeah. I mean, not exactly the kind of thing that you would buy and put it on your child's bookcase.
I wouldn't put this on my worst enemy's bookcase. This thing is handcrafted by Satan.
Yeah. And then there's the magic word, the oboe. They're asking $40 or best offer.
Yeah. Here's a best offer. I'm going to call a priest.
It's an exorcism on your doll.
Hey, you know what? I have made okay money on Marketplace, not money to like retire, but there's times I look at my bank account, I'm like, oh, there's an extra $20, there's an extra 10, there's an extra 30, And
I mean, isn't it just a ploy that people will say something like that, $40 or best offer? You know that if you put $40 on, nobody's going to offer you $40 anyway.
No.
So it's just but that's an old department store thing too. That they'll put an item out, a vase or something on display, and it says $40 was $110. Look, TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Ross, all those. You look at the label and it says compare at. Damn well that thing was never on anybody's rack at that price. It's just a mind game for you to say, oh, compare it, $80 and it's only $19.95. Oh, what a great deal. I'll take it. And they probably bought it for $2 and marked it up to $19.95.
Of course. And I got a really good deal actually when I first moved. I mean, the best deal I've ever had. It was one of those red wagons, not the old school Radio Flyer ones, but the red wagons you see now with a canopy on them.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get one for little man because at the time he was 2. So I wanted to get one for him. Well, I found it and it said $5 on it, or $6. And I'm like, no way, this is a misprint. And I messaged her right away. She goes, I just need it out of here. We're moving. I don't even care. My kids are old. I showed up. I gave her $6. There was only one thing wrong with it. The little, one of the latches for the canopy kind of pops up every now and then.
Yeah.
All I did was put 2 rubber bands around it. I've had it for 2.5 years now. I paid $6. Those things are not cheap at all.
Right.
It was the best purchase, but you find stuff like that. People got to move. People are going to jail. They need bail money. I don't know,
Well, and there's a lot of people that do their homework. They know how much that thing was new, and they know that that's a pretty good deal. And then also a lot of the people that are out there on social media looking for this stuff, they're flippers.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to try and buy it for $2 because they know they can turn around and get 10 or 12 for it.
Now, I've done that a couple times. where I bought something that I thought I wanted and then I found a better deal. So I bought that thing and sold the other one for more. You know, by more, I mean a couple dollars, nothing,
Right.
you know. But yeah, right now I've got a couple items for sale. You know, I mean, why not?
Nextdoor is another app that I think is out there, and that's more localized because it's in a neighborhood. And
Yeah.
that to me is a little safer bet, because if, for instance, I'm going to put a bicycle out that I want to get 25 or 50 bucks for, and I put it on Nextdoor, I'm probably going to sell it to a neighbor. So you want to be pretty legit about it. And you might say to them, well, listen, the handlebars need some tightening and need a little bit of work on it or something when you sell it, because if you're selling it to somebody that's within a couple of miles, it could come back to haunt you if you're trying to hoodwink them. But some of the sites that are out there, you know, I mean, these people that are selling motorcycles,
Yeah,
and boats,
you got to be careful.
oh, you know, you know that they're just trying to get rid of it, and they'll say they'll ship it and they send it, and then the guy says this thing is a piece of trash, and I want to send it back, and they say no, I'm sorry. Then you end up in court and spending 3 times as much in a court case than you do on the item itself.
That's why, like, I don't buy big things. I have gotten some good Christmas presents. I have gotten some stuff like, you know, like you see and you're like, I want one of those. I just don't want to spend $100 on it. You find it on one of these sites, it's 25 bucks and it works just fine, you know?
Yeah, I think probably the worst thing that I would never ever buy from an ad online and all is a vehicle. Because if you
Yeah.
have to get to the point where you're going to try and sell your car online to some unsuspecting person, and you know what, you know who's the biggest audience for that is teenagers. You know, they just got their driver's license and their first car, they don't have a lot of money to spend, so they see this you know, slightly used Mercedes or something out there for $600. Yeah, you know, you're going to jump on that, aren't you, to buy a Mercedes for $600? And
Yeah, of course. I
yeah,
think if you're going to buy a vehicle, a truck, you got to, number one, you got to go see it. And you got to bring somebody. Don't be like, hey, this guy lives in Arizona and he's going to drop it. You know, don't do that. But
yeah.
I do think there's opportunities to buy vehicles. I know some people that have, and they are what they say they are.
Hey, and if you're
you know,
if you're a mechanic, more power to you, because you may say that, yeah, it's low price, but I have the ability to put it into good working order. And then, like I said earlier, they're flippers. They know that if they can get that old Mercedes with 200,000 miles on it, they can put a little bit into it and sell it for 5 times that.
Or you buy it for parts or something like that. You know what I saw that I think is weird is I saw people renting a room online. And I'm like,
that's a big Craigslist item.
I think that, well, yeah, and that's creepy, man. I got to be honest with you. There's a whole show about bad experiences with roommates and stuff like that on Netflix. And a lot of those came from those sites where, well, I just moved here. I was renting a room. The person had good ratings. I'm like, they had a good rating on selling stuff. They didn't have a good rating on living with.
Right.
Like, that's creepy, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to wind up a lampshade.
No, very often you'll find somebody sick, can't attend this concert and all. I got 2 seats, you know, it's concert and all that I can't go to. And you can do your homework. You can find out how much those tickets are to the concert. And if it's, you know, $100 a ticket and you can buy them for 30, yeah, you got the time, grab them.
I bought tickets like that.
Yeah.
I just sold a ticket to an event that I can't go to anymore, don't want to go to anymore, I should say. And I just sold it. Now I got a little bit less than what I paid for, but at least I got to sell it. You know what, though? Facebook will not allow you to sell tickets anymore online.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it goes, I think they're too worried about not just the scalping aspect, but I think because there's a lot of places that have deals that tickets aren't for resale. It's like with the vendor.
Yes, yeah, StubHub.
I tried to post it on Facebook and they said they took it right down immediately.
Yeah, StubHub is one of those. They go through and they buy tickets when they first come out. knowing that it's going to be a big concert, and then they can turn around and sell
That's
them
where
at
I
a big
sold it.
profit.
I just sold mine on there. Yeah.
On StubHub? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
I already
but
got the money.
yeah, you sold it for below face value.
I did.
Yeah, there's those, and there's probably somebody that may have bought it figuring, well, I'll just go down to the arena and I'll go out on the sidewalk, and somebody that's looking for a couple of tickets, whatever, I'll be able to sell it.
Well, it sucks nowadays too, because it sucks to be a scalper, because most of these places don't have actual tickets. It's all digital and on your phone. They
Right.
won't even take printed tickets anymore.
Yeah.
So for a scalper, it's like you got to have it on your phone. Then you got to give the scalper your number so they can send it to you. Like, it's too much
Yeah.
shady stuff.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, I don't think we have sold stuff, like I say, on Nextdoor,
Yeah.
and some of that, and a lot of people are doing that now because it's so time consuming and a pain in the butt to have a garage sale.
Oh,
And drag everything out and put it on the driveway or the sidewalk, then bring it into the end of the day and take it out the next day, and
And then you got to have people come over, and then so either two things: you got to have cash, or you got to, I mean, I guess you could do a little QR code and have them Venmo you the money right there. That would work, but it's just a pain in the butt. And I do see subdivisions that do that, but
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's these type of sites that are winning, you know?
yeah. Well, I live in a community that does have a garage sale twice a year. But what do people do in that 6 months in between, when they want to get rid of something?
Mhm.
Yeah. The other thing was, have you ever been to an estate sale?
You know what? In my life, I've seen them, but I've never been. I've always wanted to go in and just look, just for the experience. Not that I would be able to afford or ever buy anything, but I've never have. Have you?
Yeah, I have. And that's sometimes that's good because you can usually get something that's a fairly good quality and all this, not if you're looking for a house full of furniture or whatever, but
Sure.
maybe you need a lamp, or you're looking for a desk, or a side table, or a piece of artwork or something that somebody has had for a long time, and they want, and sometimes you can pick up stuff, and estate sales are usually managed a little bit better. So,
Yeah.
you're not knowing you're not going to walk in with a bunch of bottom feeders, and also there's usually less bartering going on.
Sure. That makes sense. I get that. I would like to see it, just because you could find something really cool and unique.
Yeah. That's, you used to go to auctions sometimes.
Yeah, I've
that
been.
way.
Yeah, I went to a car auction one time.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And that, again, a car auction, usually those are mechanics that go to the car auctions that know that they can buy something and they can turn around and flip it. But I've been to just these general auctions where they'll auction off, unopened albums by the Beatles. Somebody is now, giving up their collections, and it's an album that's never been opened, and somebody figures, well, I'll make a bid on it. I'll keep it for 10 or 20 years and it'll be worth 10 times as much.
You know what I like is that show Storage Wars, where they go and it's like an auction for storage units that haven't paid their rent. I think that's I could see getting caught up in that. I mean, sometimes it's a huge bust, but other times they got one item and the item's worth like $300,000,
Yeah. Yeah, the guy opens up the thing and there's an old Rolls Royce in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Or like a signed Mickey Mantle baseball, or and then sometimes they open it up and it's like, oh great, it's a bunch of clothes.
Right. A bunch of clothes, or it's like 500 pounds of used newspapers.
Right. I just think it's cool, because I always wonder, like, when I drive by storage units, I'm always like, I wonder if there's one storage unit in there that's got something so pristine or rare. I always think about that.
Yeah. But you would think, having brought up that topic, that if somebody defaulted on paying the rent on that storage unit, and all, then the storage unit and anything that's in it would probably divert back to the storage facility itself. Well, you think they'd go in there and they'd look and see if there was anything of value. And if there was, fine, they would liquidate it for their own personal benefit.
Yeah.
But
I bet
otherwise, then they say, oh, there's a bunch of crap in here. Put the lock back on it and call the TV show and let people bid on it.
I wonder if they do that though. Like, I bet you there are storage places that say, hey, I'm going to take this and get, 200, but then maybe there's something in the contract or who knows,
But, I mean, it's like, it seemed to me that if you own the storage facility, somebody defaults, it's yours.
It's no different than with apartments.
Yep. That's true. Or houses, if you get foreclosed on your house and you abandon it and take off, anything that's left in the house, including your family.
Yeah. That might be okay sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, listen, you want to know where my family is? Call the bank.
Right.
They just got repossessed.
Right.
Hey, we may be giving some of our listeners an idea.
A little advice to get rid of people. We don't condone that. We're just suggesting it.
Yeah. So like the cartoon that I saw of a guy who leans over to and says to his wife, hey, Bernice, did you check our lottery ticket? And all you see is an empty closet. Bernice had the ticket and she's long gone.
She's out of there.
But anyway, I think everybody has probably bought and sold things from time to time. It's just, got to be a little careful, make sure that it's not a scam.
Or this creepy doll.
Yeah, that creepy doll. And yet, there's probably somebody watching this show that's going to say, hey, I'm going to write to Brandon and see if I can pick up that doll. Will you take $5 for it?
Right.
Yeah. Brandon would say, I'll tell you what, I'll give it to you and I'll even pay for the shipping to get rid of it.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy.
But hey, if there's anything somebody wants to get rid of, who was it? Was it P.T. Barnum or something, or somebody that said there's a sucker born every minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you got, there's probably somebody that figures, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
Absolutely.
And look at pawn shops. I mean, there's pawn shops all across the country where people go in to buy musical instruments and weapons and stuff like that.
Weapons and yeah.
Bring it in. And if they get a pawn ticket and they don't come back and get it out of pawn, becomes the property of the pawn shop, and then they sell it.
Absolutely.
I have a friend that used to play guitars, acoustic guitars, not electric. And he used to go to pawn shops to find really good, well-used old acoustic guitars.
Wow.
So, well,
you froze up on me there.
Sure, you ain't gonna be able to buy this.
We lost Stuart. He froze up on us.
Huh? Nope.
You're back.
I'm here. Oh, okay. Your internet connection is unstable. Like that's something new.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're having technical difficulties during this episode.
So is my entire life unstable.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But one thing is for sure, keep your eyes open, because if we ever decide we're going to put this show up for sale, it's probably going to be a real bargain.
Really cheap, guys, really cheap.
Like we'll pay you to take it.
Right.
But in the meantime, come back again next week and join us and see what we're going to be up to. All right.
See you guys.